The oldest stories suggest we put on clothes because we suddenly felt naked. It is a familiar idea, but the biology tells a completely different story. Our ancestors were walking radiators. Having lost our thick fur and gained millions of sweat glands, we became precision-engineered to dump heat on the African savanna. That cooling system was a masterpiece in the tropics, but it became a lethal liability as we migrated north. In dropping temperatures, their skin and constant sweating lead directly to hypothermia. Staying alive in these new, colder territories meant creating a desperate physical barrier. Our ancestors began wrapping themselves in thick skins to keep their core temperatures high enough to see the next sunrise. Pinpointing the exact start of this transition is an archaeological challenge. Early garments were made of organic materials, like hides and plant fibers, that rot away completely over thousands of years. These humans were migrating into Ice Age tundras, facing sub-zero nights and howling winds. In these environments, a hairless primate without protection would freeze solid in hours. If every physical scrap of that early gear has disintegrated, we have to find a different way to determine when humanity actually got dressed. Researchers looked past the missing fabrics and began tracking the invisible biological and archaeological fingerprints left behind in our own DNA and in the dirt. We find the origins of clothing by identifying the specialized tools needed to manufacture it. Making a functional garment begins with a specific set of hardware. A raw mammoth skin cannot be worn immediately. It stiffens and rots. Someone has to spend hours hunched over the hide, using force to scrape away fat and tissue until the material is soft and flexible. This dark, jagged stone artifact was shaped for that exact purpose. The crude, blunt edge allowed early humans to process animal skins without slicing through them. While a draped hide provided basic protection, it remained drafty. In the deep cold of a glacial winter, a loose wrap leaves too much skin exposed to the wind. A specific biological timeline emerged when scientists analyzed the genetic code of human parasites. This is a head louse. Its anatomy is highly specialized, with claws designed for gripping the singular human hair strands on our scalps. Without that hair to cling to, it dies. When we compare these two specimens side by side, we see a mutation. Body lice evolved to live and lay their eggs exclusively in the fibers of clothing, moving away from the hair entirely. By measuring the mutation rate of these parasites, researchers tracked the moment body lice diverged from head lice. The genetic clock indicates this happened roughly 170,000 years ago. It is a striking irony of our history. The date we began wearing clothes is recorded in the DNA of the parasites that feed on us. Surviving an extreme glacial maximum demands a physical seal against the elements. Success in these climates meant trapping a layer of still, warm air directly against the skin. The breakthrough is visible in this bone needle, positioned second from the left. That tiny carved eye hole allowed for the first true tailoring. Using animal sinew as thread, humans could stitch hides together. This created a fitted, sealed microclimate that moved with the body, effectively insulating the wearer from the Arctic cold. This bone needle represents a massive leap in engineering. By allowing us to stitch together airtight layers, it gave a tropical primate the technological means to settle the most hostile environments on Earth. Once tailored garments guaranteed survival, they became a permanent fixture of the human experience. With the body now permanently covered, these garments evolved into a surface for expression. Early humans used beads, pigments, and patterns to signal tribal identity and social rank to everyone they met. The psychological concept of modesty only developed thousands of years later, long after clothing had become a rigid biological necessity for our species. A vulnerable primate, born for the heat of the savanna, eventually learned to walk confidently through the center of a blizzard. Clothing was our first great technological bridge. It was the moment we began to hack our own biology, redefining the limits of where our species could go.